if my one complaint about the Cumulus was the handle was a little too short. This has that extra inch that I always wanted. That's what every man says. Yeah, we're gonna end it here. Yeah. Gentlemen, ladies, and anyone in between, I welcome you all. And today, we're gonna get up close and personal with the brand spanking new Megabass Levante. And guys, I gotta tell you, my fingers are crossed. I don't know if this rod survives. It looked like the UPS, or USPS I should say, dropped a Hogan on this puppy. And it was properly packaged. I mean, you can't really do much better than this. And it's split straight through. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm excited. I just hope this rod made it. All right, it's in one piece. All right. Comes with a nice rod sock. Get a load of this. Oh, we got one mashed guide. All the other ones seem okay. We're going to be very gentle. And epoxy cracked a little bit, not the end of the world. A little more to go. That looks good to me. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing this to my benchmark spinnerbait jig rod, which is a Shimano Cumulus. That rod retailed for about 450 bucks when it was brand spanking new. And what is it, 10 years down the road now? That is still my benchmark spinnerbait rod. So I'm going to go ahead and pop off this tag, and we're going to see how this puppy feels. I'll tell you what, I mean, even with the tag on, it feels nice. It's a nice action. So far, so good. And again, this is a 7'2" Megabass Diablo Spec R. Again, for single hook baits, swim jigs, you got your chatter baits, spinner baits, all that kind of stuff. So, go ahead. Find my knife. Nice feeling rod. Very nice feeling rod. I'm going to pop this bad boy on it, which is the Steez. I'm going to do a comparison to see if, in fact, they equal one another. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start this off by throwing a 1/2 ounce weighted Scooby-Doo rig. This is a Berkeley Realistics frog. Great bottom bouncing bait. Caught many a big fish on it. Very light in the hand. Very sensitive rod, I have to admit. A lot of times in that $200 price range and under, you get some pretty generic actions using the same blanks made in the same places with pretty much identical tapers. And this isn't one of them. At least it doesn't feel that way. Now the reason why I'm here is because it's, you know, one of the closest places to my house. This rod literally came in the mail 5 minutes ago. And there's parts that transition from mud to gravel. And I wanted to see if I can feel those transitions. I definitely can. Cool. No, I'm digging what I'm feeling. And it's incredibly light, very well balanced. This reel weighs, what, 5.5 ounces? This is the Daiwa Steez SV TWS. And it's cold enough for there to be quite a bit of ice. You can see the ice on the spool right here. So even with these little tiny guides, I know it's early and all. I've only made a couple casts. I'm not having any ice or jamming issues. So I'm going to go ahead now and pop on a different bait. I'm going to put on a spinnerbait, and we're going to see just how it handles that. This, my friends, is a Stan Sloan short arm aggravator spinnerbait. Comes in at 3/8 of an ounce. One of my all-time favorites. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm very, very picky when it comes to spinnerbait rods. The Shimano Cumulus has been my benchmark. All right, casts as expected, and boy, can I feel that blade thumping. The short arm aggravators, they're like hand massagers, is the best way to put it. Very, very sensitive rod. I could definitely feel that blade really kicking. And why I'm so picky about spinnerbait rods, I need to know what that blade's doing. I need to know if it comes up on something or algae gets caught in the swivel, especially at night. I do a lot of night fishing. And it's one of those things that it's pitch black out, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't see the spinnerbait. I need to know if there's that hair algae that's clogging up that ball bearing swivel. And you can tell right away. Even if you look at it and you don't see what's going on that ball bearing swivel, you can feel it on the end of the rod when you're retrieving it. And I'm liking what I'm feeling here. I've used plenty of rods under $200, and a lot of those $200 rods use that same, Toray, carbon blank, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And they have lifeless actions. The sensitivity is fairly dull. This is a little bit different. I mean, in my opinion, the most sensitive $200 rod was the Kistler. And that uses a North Fork composite blank. And there's just something about it. You can feel everything. And I'll tell you what, between the sheer lack of weight, the sensitivity, very comfortable handle. And even in this, 20-degree temp, this aluminum handle retaining nut or handle nut isn't really stinging my finger yet. And I've been out here for about a half hour. And what's cool, and it's something that I noticed right off the bat, the trigger. It's tiny. I like that. That low profile trigger. Oh, that's nice. But I can definitely tell you, very sensitive with the spinnerbait. That's definitely nice. And let's go ahead. See that? I can do that again. Now we're not going to be able to tell the power until we start getting some fish on it. But what's also very important to me when I'm working spinnerbaits is you're fishing vegetation. When you got a clear grass, or you come up into some reeds, you come up into some eelgrass, you want to rip it out and snap it out. If you have a rod that doesn't have that nice crisp fast action, where it's kind of lifeless and kind of loads up, 5 guides, 6 guides down, well, on this rod that might be a little bit different, but if it loads up, a third from the tip, when it does break free from that grass, it's going to pull it too far. You want that sort of hesitation when it comes free. That's what triggers the strikes. It gives that little puff of algae when it breaks free, and it kind of hangs there for a second because it just darted forward. And then you start your retrieve, and the second you turn that handle, you get smacked. All right, now for you guys out there that already know how I do things here, what I'm about to do is nothing new. Whenever I try to convey the feel of something, I'll clip my mic to it. And to me, at least, that's the best way to convey the actual sensation that you get when you're actually turning it in your hand. Almost gives you some kind of tactile feedback. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cast that out. Clip my mic to the rod and begin the retrieve. we'll go ahead and do it one more time. And you can hear the ice coming through the guides. Alrighty. Alright, now you guys know me. I like to compare things. I never like to put a product on a pedestal on its own. And I really wanted to go ahead and do the exact same test with the Cumulus by clipping the mic so you guys can kind of get a good sense of the feel. Because at 200 bucks, this rod it's officially mainstream. And the previous iteration of the Levante, while the fit and finish was nice, it kind of lacked a bit in some areas. And with the weightlessness, the sensitivity, the components that look just beautiful, the fit and finish, this is going to be a hot selling rod, which is also why I wanted to get this out there as soon as possible, because you know the Classic is coming up very soon and people tend to pull the trigger often on new gear, and I wanted to give you guys as accurate a representation of this product as I possibly could. And it's with that being said, I'll come back to this once the weather warms up, a little bit more detail. And if you just want to take my word based on me just throwing this in the water in 20-degree weather, not even trying to catch anything with it, this is a legitimate contender to for one of the best $200 spinnerbait rods on the market. I don't know if I can really say that without really putting hours and hours and hours and hours in on it, but it has that feel. And I think it's, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead now and end this video. And I appreciate all you guys for showing up. You guys are the best. I appreciate Josh over at J&H for sending this rod out to me. If you guys are in the market for buying this rod specifically, hit him up on his website, jnhtackle.com. Free shipping. Beautiful stick. I'll tell you what, get them while they're hot. Who knows? This might be one of those rods that once that first run sells out, you're gonna have to wait. And the last thing you want to do is wait, you know, until the summertime to get something like this. I dig it. Very nice. If my one complaint about the Cumulus was the handle was a little too short. I like that butt to come right up to the joint, like right before it, so I can kind of tuck it like this. You can't really see it on camera. This has that extra inch that I always wanted. That's what every man says. Yeah, we're gonna end it here. Yeah, take care.